This lock is not very modern, not very safe, not very smart. So I think it's time we upgrade it to the SwitchBot Lock Pro. In this video, we're going to install the SwitchBot Lock Pro on the door just behind me. That is the door for our Airbnb cottage. So there is actually quite a few reasons why I want to upgrade that lock. Now, before I get to all those reasons, now is a great time to hit subscribe down below if you haven't already, because that would really help out the channel. So thank you. All right, first of all, hands-free entry. You can actually get in with just tapping your phone or having someone else tap your phone, and the door will be unlocked. So that's kind of neat. It also means that we can do it when we have the hands full and we clean the cottage, or many other reasons, right? Remote access, we can open the door for someone else remotely. That could be for guests, that could be for ourselves, it could be for a neighbor that needs to come by and do something. We can give guests access. In fact, this comes with I've got the keypad as well, so we're going to give guests a code rather than a key, which means that they can have access. But also, we can put a time limit on that code so that they don't overstay their welcome, etc. Right? There's no lost keys. We're not going to have any lost keys anymore. We're just going to have this with a code that is attached to the door, essentially, right? Real-time alerts. We will actually know when people arrive, when they leave. I can have some idea of if people have arrived, because sometimes we're not here when people do. Multiple user management. We can have multiple people using the same lock, of course. It's not just one key, essentially. We can have many codes. There can be many apps or app instances as well. Integration with the smart home systems. I am not sure yet, but I am going to see if we can get this into Home Assistant, and I can actually create some automations around opening the door, or closing it for that matter, or locking it. So that should be interesting, so stay tuned for that. That's going to come a bit later in the video. We can auto lock and unlock, put a time limit or a schedule on it, so if that becomes relevant, we can do that. Audit trails, you can actually see who's gone in and out based on the code. You can give different people a different code, and you can see that. Hopefully we can enable and disable that through Home Assistant or something like that as well. And then finally, emergency access. We can open the door remotely and just make sure that it is open, so if people need to get in or out, we can do that as well. So there's quite a number of reasons why I want to get rid of that very old lock that is on the door. So first, let's have a look in the box and see what we're actually dealing with in terms of the hardware. I think it's a lock. Okay, let's see what's in this nice box. So very nice. There's a slight, ever so slight outline here. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, there you go. Of the lock itself. It's quite nice, sort of embossed in. Anyway, let's open it up. And of course we've got two boxes, because we're going to get to that one as well, which is, it's probably not going to be a big surprise, because it looks like, well, a keypad, doesn't it? Okay, come on, there we go. All right, here we go, and whoop. As is the custom now for tech devices, very nicely presented. So here's the lock. It's about the size of my palm, so I guess you can see it sort of there. It's fairly chunky. Okay, so that's the front. That's going to sit on the inside of the door. This is where the actual lock will turn the thumb lock thing on the deadbolt. And you can press this as well, which will go zzz and close it, I believe. But yeah, that's fairly chunky there. Okay, let's see. And here, of course, is the mechanism under there. Let's just take this plastic off so we can see. All right, that's better. So that is going to grab the lock itself on the door, and that's always going to turn it. Yep, not sure how all this. Oh, there we go. That fell off. This is metal, by the way. Quite nice. That is the battery compartment, so we can swivel these up there, and we can take this out. Oh, it comes with batteries. Oh, very nice. I always like when devices come with batteries, and these are just AA's, so they're going to be really easy to replace. I believe there are two banks of batteries there and there, because it'll use one bank first, then they run out, it'll use the other one and you get alerted, so that you never run out of power and you can't open or close the door. That's pretty good. All right, so I'll put those back in so we know where they are. Put that back in here, and then we have on the right hand side, we have quite a thick box actually. What's in that? Oh, that's the magnet. So this is for knowing whether the lock is closed or not. So we're going to need that. It's going to sit on the door frame next to it. And then we have some big fat bolts. They're probably going to go through the door and hold it on. Very good. Yeah. Oh, they're magnetic. And then we have here, oh, tool set. So we get a little screwdriver. Okay, and we get, what is this? Instructions for use. Oh, this is for holding it on. This is like a temporary piece of tape to hold the door onto the lock onto the door rather, so that we can install it properly without it falling off. There's the user manual, and having some experience with SwitchLock products, we're probably going to need this because the engineering in this is always immaculate, and you need to do it correctly and not just sort of guess. Having said that, it should be pretty simple from what I've figured, sort of researched beforehand. Oh, there's a little security tool here. That's probably for making sure you can't just take the lock off. Oh, little security screws. Oh, so this is the bracket that goes on the door, so the lock goes on. So this sits on the door and you lock it through there. So that sits on the door, and then this goes over that somehow, this way probably. Like that, like so, and that goes on there. Probably that's where the little screws go. All right, I think that makes sense. And what else we got? Oh, I know what these are. These are the key turners, or whatever you want to call it, that you put over your lock, and then this grabs onto. I'll show you that when we install it. All right, that makes sense. And that's it. That's what we got for this. All right, so let's just have a look at this touchpad real quick. So this is an optional extra. I do recommend getting this though, because this means you have fingerprint, you have codes, you have remote codes. Yeah, we'll get to all the features. I can't remember them all right now. So that goes in the outside. The lock's on the inside of the door. Keypad is on the outside of the door. Oh yeah. So here's the keypad itself, and that looks like that. Not bad actually. That's really neat. It's very lightweight. You obviously need to put some batteries in it, and it's very tactile. It's quite nice actually. And that's obviously the fingerprint reader. Beep, beep. Our batteries. Oh, funky batteries. These are CR123A, so they're reasonably commonly used, but they're not. That's a bit funny. Why didn't they choose AA's? Okay, all right, batteries. And some installation screws, and oh, a whole bunch of little things. That looks like a tool to open something. There's some rubber grommet things. Better not lose any of this. Okay, and oh, more things. There's a whole lot here. This is typical of SwitchBot. Everything is thought through very thoroughly. So we have some template. We have an NFC card. Oh yeah, we can use NFC on that. Blip blip. Very nice. I think that's metal. Yeah, okay. A manual, a wet wipe for installing things, and a metal bracket, obviously, for putting this on the back here. Very good. We have a SIM card taker-outer tool, as it usually is, which is a little pin for opening or something. SIM card slot, probably not a SIM card, but anyway. And we have a sticky bit. That's coming out. Come on. There we go. Ah, adhesive for mounting it if you wanted to do it that way, I think. All right, that's a lot of bits. So let's take all that there and install it. But first, we have to remove the old lock to put on a new lock over there, so we can install the smart lock on the new lock. Yeah, it'll make sense. All right, here we go. The new handle is on. Doesn't look good. There's definitely an upgrade that was needed in this place. Yeah, I think the old one was from the 50s or something. So the plan now is to install the Lock Pro on here instead of this striker here, and then adopt that into the SwitchBot app and just set it up and calibrate it. And then we'll adopt and set up the keypad, which goes with it, obviously, because the idea with this whole setup is that we can have guests in here that'll use this on the inside, so press this or turn it to lock it. And on the outside, if they want to open it or lock it, they're going to use the keypad, so there's no key involved, which is great because sometimes guests do lose the keys or misplace them, unfortunately. So let's start with installing this on the door, which is pretty simple as far as I can figure out. So yeah, let's do that. So first step is actually to put the blue tape up there, but I've already done that to hold the lock in because we're going to take these out so it doesn't fall out, which is would be inconvenient. So we're going to take this off first. Like that. And there's our turny thing, or a locking mechanism. So obviously you're going to get something to put on that. So now we're going to put this bracket over, and conveniently, so these are the old screws that are with the lock. SwitchBot has given, or provides 2 different thicknesses of screws, or bolts, or whatever you want to call them. So they should fit most locks. So mine are the thinner ones. So we've got 2 of those. And look at this. So however because they've got to obviously fit in through these existing holes here. So these brackets here, they move. Look at that. They move like that. It's really, really clever. So they should be able to fit almost any lock, which is very impressive. All right, so now I actually got to position it. And then the aim of the game obviously is to get that in the middle, this pin here, because we got to attach to that. So if it was up too high or too low, that wouldn't be able to fit. So we're going to put that just in the middle there. I'm actually not sure how much to tighten it, but it's on there now, so I'm not going to go any further. Then we have 3 of these adapters for the lock. So we got to pick the one we need that fits your lock. I'm going to choose this thin, flat one, which is the one that's here. Like that. And then just make sure that works. Yep, that's still good. Alrighty, so far so good. So then the next step really is just to put the Lock Pro on there. All right, so that should just slide in here, right? And then there's 2 screws on either side we just need to secure it with. And of course, all the tools are provided by SwitchBot. You even get an itty bitty screwdriver if you didn't have one. I chose to use my own, but there is one. So let's add the screws. So the screws are in. You actually get 4 extra screws for some reason. Maybe because they're itty bitty and you lose them whenever you drop them. I don't know. But yeah, a little bit awkward, but I get that they're secure now. Then we need to check again that this still works. There we go. Yep, turn in. Yep. So that will be the manual part of the door. Obviously that's what's going to turn as well with the batteries. So that seems to work. Very good. The last step is to add this magnet here. Has to be within about 40 mil, 45 mil from the side of it here. And that is to know if the door is open or closed. And I'm assuming we'll see how that comes to, what difference that makes in the app. So we can tell in the app if the door is open or closed. So we're going to put it there because that's the only place we can put it. And hopefully it's not too far away, but let's see. So there's just a little bit of sticky tape on the back here. And we'll stick it, make sure there's these indicators here on the side, make sure they point towards the lock. So we're going to add it about there. And if I screw it up, it does come with an extra sticky bit, so we can redo it if it doesn't work. Very good. All right, that's it. How simple was that? All right, it's time to put it into the app, into the SwitchBot ecosystem. So first thing is we can just take the little cover off. It's just magnetic. It's quite nice actually. We're going to pull out the battery isolator, and it should beep. It's turned on. Very good. That's flashing blue slowly. I don't know if you can see it on there, but that is a blue light flashing slowly, which means it's ready to be adopted into the app. So we click on the plus, and it's scanning for Bluetooth devices nearby. And it says Lock Pro. It says blind tilt as well, because next door in my office, there's four blind tilts for my blinds like these, like, you know, Venetian blinds. Haven't checked that video out, do that now using the link up there. They're pretty cool too. Amazing piece of engineering. So I'm gonna hit Lock Pro and it should just adopt it, I think. Usually with SwitchBot, I've been very impressed overall. SwitchBot devices are extremely well engineered. I did a vacuum cleaner recently, my first robot vacuum cleaner that's properly smart. So there's another video for you to check out if you like more SwitchBot content. All right, remove the battery isolation tab. Well, I've done that. Make sure the batteries are well in position. I think they can only be one way in position. When the indicator light starts flashing blue, tap connect. It's flashing blue, we'll tap connect. Connecting to your device. Important firmware upgrade. There's always a firmware upgrade, so we'll just do that first. I'm just upgrading the firmware on my door lock. It's not a sentence that was said 10 years ago. All right, upgraded successfully. More beeping. Okay, I'm not sure why it's beeping. That's probably just means I'm done. Finish. I'm gonna give it a name. All right, we're not gonna call it Lock Pro 98. We're gonna call it Cottage Door Lock, because that's where we are. Pick a room. Okay, and click next. Add it successfully. Now let's start to install your SwitchBot Lock Pro. Well, I've already installed it. Otherwise you get an installation guide. I'm not gonna go through the installation guide. I'm gonna click already installed. Close your door. It's closed. Rotate the thumb turn, which is that, on your Lock Pro to the position where your device locks the door. Okay, I think that is, oops, like that. Yep, it's locked. Okay, next. Keep your door closed. Rotate the thumb turn on Lock Pro to the position where your device unlocks the door. Okay, like that. So we are calibrating it now, obviously. Next, open your door. Manually lock your device. Okay. Then hold the door to leave approximately 10 centimeters between the door and the door frame. Keep your door ajar, make sure your Lock Pro is in lock state. Tap test unlocking. Oh, we're gonna have a look. Let's see if it works. You ready? It worked. Test locking. Yay! All right, cool, very good. Finish calibrating. Okay, well, I'm just gonna close the door again. I think I'm allowed to do it. I think I can press this now too. Hey, so that's what you do there. You can turn it or you can press it. All right, very good. If you want to allow other users to access your Lock Pro, you can invite them to join your home or home members. All right, we're not gonna do that right now, if at all. In fact, a bit later on in the video, I'm gonna attempt to put this into Home Assistant and we'll see how that goes, because that's usually how we share things here on the farm. Okay, so now it says keypad not paired, remote not paired. So I don't have the remote, but I do have the keypad. So I think next what we're gonna do, before we go through and look at all the features, we're gonna pair the keypad to it, because that's probably important to have it as like a single unit. All right, let's try and set up the keypad that goes with it. Obviously the keypad's gonna go to the outside, but you know what I mean. So first I'm just gonna put batteries in it. So this comes with two of these. I said that's for CR123A batteries. They're not super common, but they're definitely not uncommon. So it's probably a good choice if it needs 6 volts, this thing. So let's grab the app again and try and adopt it or get it in here somewhere, somehow. So I'm gonna add plus, add a device, and we should be, oh, came straight away, keypad touch. Yep, let's use that one. Make sure your device has batteries installed. We just put those in. Long press the lock and OK button. So that's at the bottom here, so we're gonna press those. Tap next when the green indicator light flashes. All right, so we're gonna call this the cottage keypad. And then we probably have to pair it with that lock, I would imagine. Let's see, install with screws. Yeah, we're gonna do that in just a second. Installation finished, yep, I know how to install it. Your keypad touch is not paired to a SwitchBot lock. After pairing, you can unlock or lock your SwitchBot lock via keypad touch. All right, let's pair it to a lock. Cottage door lock, yeah, that's the only one we got. Place your phone and keypad touch close to your lock. Oh, there's a new firmware version, maybe that's, of course there is. Okay, paired. No passcode, okay, let's put in a passcode. One-time passcode? Sure. Please set a permanent passcode first. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll change that later, don't worry. And then name, yep, sure. We'll claim a permanent passcode 1. goody. Okay, let me see. I think I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then unlock. Ah, so there's a lock button and an unlock button. Got it, okay. So that seems to work really well. Once I figure out this. Now it has 2 more features, which is the fingerprint and the NFC card. But before we go through everything, I'm gonna install this on the wall because I don't want to hold it in my hand anymore. And then we'll go through the rest. And then we'll see if we can get into Home Assistant, see what happens. Okay, lock's installed, keypad's installed, so let's have a look through all the features and how it works, and then we'll try and get into Home Assistant, which is interesting. We'll see how that works. So I'm on the app here again. You can see at the top it says Bluetooth connected, so this is a Bluetooth device. And in order for me to get into Home Assistant, we have to do a little bit of finagling, but we'll get to that. We can see if the door is open. There's a little icon there. You can see here, it goes open, and close. So that is working, the sensor. I don't know if you can hear that, but the llamas are fighting or something. Anyway, you see if the door is unlocked or locked, so obviously it's unlocked. Right now, there's a keypad, which is the one we just installed. That's there's a link to it, and there's no remote, because I don't have a remote. There's an emergency unlock. So this is tap the icon above your lock will turn clockwise to unlock. If your lock doesn't unlock, tap the icon and it will turn counterclockwise to unlock. After using emergency unlock to unlock your door, please recalibrate your device. Okay, so this is like, if it doesn't work, you can sort of try and unlock it. Then we have some logs, which I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Oh, it just tells you unlocked, locked, etc., whether it's manual or app, etc. All right, very good. Then there's some settings. And we have the name of it, which we gave it, cottage door lock. There's some basic settings, which is the indicator light here. Do you want to have that on? Do you want to have sound on? I'm actually going to turn the sound off because it's a little bit, you can already hear it going zzz. I don't need the sound. And remote unlock reconfirm. When your device is disconnected from Bluetooth and you tap to unlock, a pop-up window will appear to let you reconfirm your unlocking action in case it was a mistake. But if I go into the app, I know I'm going to unlock it, so I'll just leave it at that. The quick key is actually this hardware feature here. That is called the quick key apparently. So we can enable it, yes. There's a button here, so we can say lock and unlock is what the button does. So yes, so if you press this, it'll lock it. And if you press it, it'll unlock it again. That is the quick key, that button there. And we can choose whether we want it to lock and unlock, lock only or unlock only. And then can be set if we want it to be a single press or double press. All right. Then we have some alarms. Door ajar, we can get an alarm in the app if the door's open and left unlocked. I'm not entirely sure what that does. How does it know? Oh, for how long is it left unlocked? So if it's an important door to be locked, you can get an alarm if it is left unlocked. Okay. Auto lock off. If you put the auto lock on, you can say, well, after 5 minutes, lock it automatically, or after whatever time period you want. So if we can turn that on. Yep. Please test indoors. Yeah, don't get locked outside. And then you can say, oh, do you want to pause it, relock it? Relock will lock your door if it has been unlocked after a specified time, no matter your door is open or closed. So there's sort of some safety around this, that you can auto lock the door, which is neat if that's your thing, if you need that. Obviously, I just want people to do it manually, as in with the keypad or with the here, because they're guests, they go in and out all the time. And then we have the recalibration, we have cloud services, NFC, so we can pair it with an NFC tag from SwitchBot, or otherwise I'm assuming, which I'm not going to do in this video, but you can also use it with an NFC tag on the outside or inside, and you can tap that and it'll open the door. So that's kind of neat. Firmware battery, yep, it's full battery. All right, so that's the door lock. So let's have a look at the keypad. So that's in here, cottage keypad. And we can see here that it's paired to the cottage door lock, which is good because that's what we want. There's also some logs again. We can see the battery and the Bluetooth indicator. And then we can set up the passwords. So I've now set up a guest code. So that's for people visiting, so we can send out the code beforehand so they know how to get in. There's the permanent passcode which we created before. We can set up fingerprint, so I can actually put my fingerprint on the sensor out there as well if I need that. We might do that at some point. That's as easy as pressing plus and then adding again, a permanent, temporary or emergency fingerprint, and we can use whatever finger. And then there's the same with the NFC card. So if we have an NFC card, we can tap that on the lock as well. So that might be really another way that you might want to let people in, is to have an NFC card. Actually, I have my Unify NFC card, which I use for my G2 reader that I put up on my office here just next door. So yeah, you can set up an NFC card as well. So there's a lot of options for letting people in and out, like a lot. I can still use the key outside just like normal. You can turn this and you can press this. You can use the keypad, you can use an NFC card, you can use a fingerprint. There's just so many options for this, and it was super simple to set up. It genuinely was. And then we got the settings for the keypad. So we have some lock button settings. So we can disable or enable the lock button, or we can just enable it when the door is closed. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is. We can disable the keypad altogether if we go away or for whatever reason. There's some removal alerts. This is actually interesting because I mounted the keypad on there and then I took it off, and there's the two little metal tabs at the bottom which locks into the mount, but when they're disconnected from metal and actually you lose the connection, an alarm sounds like it's been removed. And it just went beep, beep, beep. I'm like, what the hell is going on? That is the removal alert. So if someone tries to remove the keypad, which you can't just take off, you need that little SIM card taker tool, like a little pin to tap it in. But it's not hard to get off, but you do need the tool. And if someone removes it, we can have removal alert. Actually, I'll put that back on again. I took it off because it was very loud. So that's really cool. I like that feature. Backlight and sound. Auto, when waking up your keypad, I'm okay with just having backlight on it and sound. We can see it at night. Device pairing, we've already done that. Connect to hub, no hub found. That is all of the features in the app. Very straightforward, very simple to set up. Yeah, I can't fault it right now. I mean, I've used it for a day, but still, setting up, install, figuring out how it works, super easy. So let's have a go at Home Assistant and see what happens, because I'm not sure how this is gonna fold out. Let's try and get this Door Lock Pro into Home Assistant. And there are, in general, two ways that you can integrate SwitchBot devices with Home Assistant. You can either do it with direct Bluetooth, which what I've done so far. So if you check out my video on the blind turner thingies, the robots for opening and closing my blinds, that's done through Bluetooth. If you check out my very first video on Bluetooth, which has got a lot of views for some reason, that also shows how easy it is to use Bluetooth directly with SwitchBot. But it does require Home Assistant's integration, the SwitchBot integration, to support that. And until about, 2 weeks ago, it didn't for the Door Lock Pro, but now it does. And the other way of doing it is using a SwitchBot hub and then connecting it through the internet, using Bluetooth connection to the hub, which the hub is then connected to the internet, and then you connect through that to Home Assistant. So we're going to try the Bluetooth connection first. And as you can see here in Home Assistant, it's already shown up. I even have the hub is here, which I've set up just in case this doesn't work. We can connect it through the internet. And we have the Lock Pro. So I'm going to click configure on that. And again, this is the direct Bluetooth connection. And it says here, SwitchBot Bluetooth. Now, sometimes you can connect directly to a device, such as a blind opener. In this case, it's a lock. So we need that extra security aspect. So that's why it says here that it can be set up in two different ways. You can use your SwitchBot account, which is what we're going to do, or you can enter the lock encryption key manually, and that's a fair amount of work of getting the encryption key, etc., etc. But it is possible to do it without your SwitchBot account. So we're going to enter a SwitchBot account, so username. All right, and then once you enter it correctly, which I didn't, there we go, success. All right, that was pretty simple. Just put in your credentials, and Home Assistant will then go onto your account and then get the encryption key for you, and then put it into Home Assistant so you don't have to do all that manually. Okay, we have here Lock Pro. We're going to put that in the guest cottage because that's where it is, and we've finished with that. Alright, so then we go and find it, SwitchBot Bluetooth. You can see I have 9 devices. I have some blind tilts. I have my curtain openers now because they're also supported, and here's the Lock Pro, and there's a couple of temperature sensors. So let's have a look at the Lock Pro. Okay, it seems that we have the sensor of whether it is closed or open, and we have the controls for unlocking it. So right now it's locked. Let's see if I can unlock it. There we go, and I can double check, of course, in the app, and the app here says that it is unlocked as well. So that seems to work. So now we can lock it and unlock it. Very good. Okay, I'm going to lock it again. And then we have a sensor showing whether the door is open or closed, which is very handy actually, because that means I can probably get rid of the other door sensor that I have on it. I put one on there to turn my aircon on and off because people leave the door open. That's also a video, link there. And then we have some diagnostics. Auto lock paused. Yep, remember we took auto lock off. We never enabled it. The battery, which is very handy. We like to know, well, I like to know when the battery needs to be changed. Calibration, unclosed alarm, and unlocked alarm. So that's the little notification that I get from the SwitchBot app that says, yeah, door unlocked, door locked. You can take that off as well. But that is it. That is what we get. The one thing we don't get, which might have been handy, and I know other smart locks do provide through Home Assistant with the integration, is the ability to add and change codes. That could be quite handy, and enabling and disabling codes for that matter. I would have liked to seen that, I think. But maybe that comes. Maybe that's a future upgrade to this integration. Because remember, this integration for Home Assistant is not built by SwitchBot. They allow the API to be, accessed. So it's probably somewhere in between. SwitchBot needs to allow it, and the integration needs to be updated. But it works. I have a sensor, which is very handy. I can see if the door is open or closed, and I can lock and unlock the door, which is the main function, obviously, of the smart lock. So where are we at? The SwitchBot Lock Pro, I reckon, is probably one of the easiest to install of any smart lock that I've seen. Once you have a modern handle, not 1950s like I did, you can just add it on there, and it's installed in 10 minutes. If I didn't have recorded, it would have been very quick. So that's very impressive. I like the build quality. As anything SwitchBot, it is immaculate. The engineering is very, very good. I'm very impressed. Home Assistant integration, it's there, but in hindsight, after I just stopped recording that bit, we don't have the keypad inside Home Assistant, which is probably why I can't manage the codes and the fingerprints and everything else. That might come, I don't know, hopefully, but that's probably why. So the lock itself does lock and unlock, and there's a sensor, which is what we got. So that seemed to work just fine. Now I'm probably going to use that in some automations. There might be, I'm thinking of maybe setting up some sort of emergency, open everything. If there's a bushfire, that would be part of that, open that door lock. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is this the best lock you've seen? Is there something that's better? I can't fault it for doing what it says on the tin. Unlocking and locking with fingerprint code, NFC card, or a key. A standard old key still works. So thanks so much for watching. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because that really helps me out. And as always, I hope to see you in the next video, which is going to be... oh, that's right. We're going to have some